Hey there YouTube, Vagabond Mel here. So in today's episode I would just like to talk about body mechanics while driving a Can-Am Spyder, because when I first started driving it I was in, I would say, excruciating pain. First I just want to get a Starbucks. Yep. Okay. So I got my Starbucks. I noticed that it's good to not have it too tall, so you want a short Starbucks, otherwise it'll pour out. I'm gonna go to Bartlam Park for a moment, and I just want to I think it's easier for me to explain if I'm not driving. So when I first started driving, my right hand would be preoccupied with the throttle, so it was maintaining speed, and my left hand would be responsible for steering. It would go right, it'd go left, and this arm did everything while my right hand focused on maintaining speed. And that messed up my back. Not permanent, only after about 15 minutes of riding I started feeling pain in my upper back. And so to fix that, I started, making sure that both arms are doing the steering, and I got this little throttle thing to hook on to my throttle. That just helps me maintain the speed, so I could maybe focus less on it and focus more on using both arms to steer. And my back hurt less because I was using both arms to steer, but it still hurt quite a bit. So I started taking a different approach. When I would steer, normally if I were to turn left, I would pull in. I would pull in using my left arm. I would pull in to go left. So instead of doing that, I started to push instead of pulling in. So if I were to turn left, I would use my right arm to push, and that seemed to help like immensely. It helped my back out, and it does take time to get used to. I'm still finding myself pulling in instead of pushing, because it's a habit that you have to unlearn. And another thing is that I got the handlebar riser, which adds 2 inches closer to me, and I also got a backrest. The backrest helps immensely. Like, that's probably the #1 product that I got that alleviates my back pain almost completely. I've ridden this for 3 hours one day, and my back pain was basically non-existent, and I do attribute that mostly to having a backrest. Since I got a handlebar riser, there is a bend in my arm. I don't know if you can see it, but before I had that handlebar riser, I had no bend in my arm. My arm was straight out. Both arms were straight. But now that I have a little bend in my arm, when I make a turn, if I were to make a left-hand turn, instead of, like, I do push on my right handlebar to take the left-hand turn, and a good way to get in the habit of pushing instead of pulling in is to just think about extending your arm until it's straight. Like, I'm straightening out my arm so it doesn't have a bend anymore, and that's how I make my turn. And just remembering, just straighten, just straighten instead of pulling in, because pulling in it engages the muscles in a way that is strenuous. But when you push instead of pulling in, when you push, you engage muscles that don't put a strain on the muscles. You are using your triceps, which will become sore and fatigued over time, but in a good way, like you just had a workout. So that to me is very important to to make sure you're not straining yourself while you're riding. So just to recap, if you are in a lot of pain, I would suggest, if you're a shorter rider, I'm 5'5", so I'm pretty average height, and I got this handlebar riser, and I got a backrest, and I am pushing into turns, straightening out my arms instead of pulling in. And that, like, the combination of all those things really helped me a lot. Okay, so today it's a beautiful day. I'm at Bartlam Park right now because I just wanted to sit down to explain that to you, and have some of my tea in the meantime. It's just so nice out. I am going to see about washing my car and going to visit my dad. Alright, and so I will tune off for now, and I will see you later. YouTube, I just want to tell you, while I'm sitting here driving, listening to music, I have a lot on my mind right now, and it's mainly due to my living situation. So right now I am a proud owner of a condo, and I saved up some money. Me and Liz, we bought it together because it's the only way to really do things these days. You need a partner in crime to help you. So we are the owner of a condo, and we were paying it off really well. And I paid off the condo enough where I felt that it would be okay for me to make a large purchase, such as getting this $30,000 vehicle that I'm riding on right now. I was in a financial place where I was able to do that. So fast forward to a month later, I get an email from the HOA saying that the siding needs to be replaced and our parking lot needs to be repaved, and the total assessment would be over $1 million, which is $32,000 for each of our unit owners. And $32,000, if you get out a 15-year loan, that would end up costing us $50,000, including the interest. Oh, there's a client calling. I sent out an email. We had a meeting. First we had a meeting, an HOA meeting, about this assessment, and the board, the people currently sitting on the board, they were pressing for this vinyl siding. They're really pressing us hard for it and trying to convince all the rest of us how important it is that our siding is replaced because of rotting wood and such, you know. But these board members, all of them, they rent their condos to tenants, so they don't even live there. And me and another man, he thinks that the current board members, they want to make these improvements so our complex becomes more appealing to people, like more visibly appealing and nice, so that way they could raise the rent for their tenants, which, you know, as a business person, I could totally understand that. $32,000 to them is not a big deal, and I know that for a fact because money comes and goes so quickly. When you're like successful, you can save $32,000 very quickly when you're successful, and I know that. So I'm pretty successful, but I mean, there was a time in my life when I was not. So anyway, $32,000, they're voting on it. The voting ends on September 20th. So I'll know by then what the verdict is, if I have to start paying $32,000 to these people for stupid vinyl siding. That, I mean, I don't even plan on staying at that condo. That's the thing. I just moved in 2 years ago. I'm expected to pay this ridiculous vinyl siding assessment, and I'm not going to live there forever. This isn't my forever home. It's just not fair. If we had talked about this a couple months prior to today, like if I knew about this before I bought my trike, then I may never have bought my trike. You know what I mean? Instead of buying a trike, I could spend all the money on the assessment, so that way I don't have to pay the extra 15 grand in interest, and it could just be over and done with. But I'm almost glad that I bought the trike first. To be honest, because knowing me, I would hold off buying the trike. And I don't know. I just think that for me personally, I am happy that I did buy the trike, because it is like it was my dream to have this Spyder. So I am glad that I didn't wait and I just bought it. I still owe $9,000 toward it, but you know, it's worth it. The thing I don't like about this hookup with my phone Bluetooth to the speakers of the trike is every time someone calls me, I get booted off of my music and my device isn't connected anymore. It's a huge pain in the butt. I'm gonna go get gas at the food bag, because I'm almost out of gas. Oh shit. Wait, no. Oh, wait, let me just get gas. Hold on.
Wendy's breakfast burrito is everything you want, all rolled into one tortilla.
Here's the thing about my condo complex. So I moved in 2 years ago, and we used to be a self-managed community. We had an email thread that everybody could participate, ask questions, what have you. It was all very nice, being self-managed. And some lady moved in the exact same time I did, a lawyer, young woman, who insisted that we get a management company to take over for our HOA. And we voted on it. I said no, of course, because I am pig-headed and I like to do things my own way. But regardless of that, they went through with it. And so now we are managed by some company. And since then, we don't have any more email. The email thread is gone. Like, nobody uses the email thread anymore for anything. And I have recently brought back the email thread. After we had the HOA meeting about the assessment, I tracked down everybody's email address from 2 years ago, and I saved them all into a contact list, and I sent out an email to everybody. And we haven't had an email like this in 2 years since switching to the management company. And I pointed out some things, and this has escalated into a big discussion, and now my inbox is getting loaded with emails. There's only, I think there's 34 unit, oh crap, I wanted to go there. We only have 34 unit owners, so not that many, but everyone's commenting, and there's a lot of people opposed to this vinyl siding, and I am just so happy I sent out that first initial email to get the ball rolling, because it's really making people question what's best for everybody, instead of just going along with what they're told is good for them. So I just have to say, you know, if you're opposed to something, don't be afraid to speak up, you know, and voice your concerns. It's a little scary at first, and if you get some negative feedback for voicing your concerns, it's okay, because you know what? You're not the only one who feels that way. There are other people who feel the same way you do. And honestly, you will feel so much better by speaking up instead of not saying anything. Especially if you're stressed out about something. There's no reason to stay stressed out. If you're able to communicate effectively, of course, no name calling. You cannot name call or disrespect anybody. It's not about that. It's about communication and what's right for everybody. And I just have to say, I'm so happy I wrote that email. Because I may have just saved myself $32,000. How do I do this? See what we got here. Let's see, washing instructions, insert money, make selection. Okay, return one to holder. Select tire cleaner, low pressure. Hold one from tires. Change given 4 minutes for $4 for 5 minutes. Okay, YouTube, I just washed Vhagar, and yeah, it was pretty easy. So the seat did get wet, and I tried to blow dry it, but it's still very wet. So but I think in the winter time, if like I still want to drive this in the winter, but I'm scared that like the gears will get all salty from the road conditions, from the snow, and it'll rust really quickly. So if you drive in the winter, you really have to make sure to wash all the salt off. And it looks like this one over here, not that one, but this one over here, I think it could do everything. It could get under the bike, and it'll this reminds me of the video game Fallout. I don't know why, but so yeah, like I'm gonna come back. I'm just gonna try this one maybe next month and see how it goes. Like, it'll be soaking wet, but you know, I think it's worth it to get under there, all the nooks and crannies. All right, so where are we going next? I just want to check out a new development happening close by. It's a very large project that Cheshire is undertaking. It involves a food bag, not a food bag. It involves a Whole Foods grocery store, which everybody's really excited about. And it also involves a lot of other little shops, a lot of shops. It's basically a plaza, and also a lot of townhouses are coming up. So I just want to go check that out. It's still under construction, but you know, we'll see how it goes. Am I ready to go? I am ready to go. Oh shit. Okay. My bottom tire just went in that hole. It's okay. Okay guys, this is where this is called Stonebridge Court, or Stonebridge Crossing. It's actually a new road that they installed to get to this this big plaza that they're building, and it's not closed off, so I'm going to go down there and take a look. And Liz was strongly against, oh, maybe I should turn around. There's a guy sweeping here. Yeah, alright, never mind. I'll go a different time when that guy's not sweeping. Now I visit my puppy. My papa.